The Avs have been posting some pretty similar final scores lately. I could get used to this. Avs win over the Chicago Blackhawks 5-1. Sorry this video is so late. I'm going to try and keep it short and sweet for you so you can finish it fast. Despite the final score being the same as the Detroit game, this one felt a lot closer, mostly due to Chicago getting 45 shots on goal. The first period started off pretty slow, but Chicago quickly opened things up and we got into that back and forth game that we're used to seeing between these two teams. Unfortunately, through the first, there was a lot of sloppiness going on for the Avs in their defensive zone, and while they were generating chances offensively, when they did get caught in their own zone, they usually stayed there for a while. What happens when you get caught in your own zone for extended periods of time? Yep, you take penalties. With 5 minutes left in the first, the Avs would take one and it would end up burning them. Really a pretty simple play. After entering the zone, Kane is going to head down deep and then send it back up to the point to Seabrook. Seabrook's just going to throw a shot on net, and it's going to find eyes, get through all the traffic, and beat Varlamov. Not exactly the type of goal you would expect to give up to Chicago, but when you give up that much time in the offensive zone, they're bound to put it in one way or another. In hindsight, knowing that would be the only goal the Avs give up, it looks much better, to be fair. From there, the Avs would push hard late in the first, but the closest they would come to scoring is ringing a crossbar for big number 60 on the post counter. The second period was the response the Avs were looking for, at least to start. They came out of the gates flying and picked up an early power play to get things started off. Soderberg was out of the lineup in this one due to illness, so the Avs had to break up their one depth scoring line that could do so consistently. That means we are going to need some stuff from someone else down in the depth options, and on the second unit power play, someone would break through. This one's definitely a bit of a scrambly goal. Giroir's just going to send this over to Kerfoot. Kerfoot is actually going to make the decision to shoot a puck here. It goes in, comes with a rebound, bounces around in front, just trickles back out to Kerfoot. Nobody knows where it is, and he puts it away. So I'm pretty sure I discovered my superpower. Last video, I said the Avs should probably sit Kerfoot, and what does he do? He comes up in this game and gets points. Earlier in the season, I have mentioned that I thought they should have sit Yakupov, and what does he do? He shows up in the next game and gets points. It's getting pretty crazy how whenever I think someone should sit, they're guaranteed to score. Having this knowledge, I think the Avs should sit Tony Nato and Kamenev and Wilson and still Kerfoot and Comfer too, because man, we could use the scoring. So the second power play unit getting the goal was the spark the Avs needed, and then the Avs top line says, alright boys, that's enough, we'll take it from here. Just a couple minutes after that tying goal, McKinnon does something filthy. Avs are going to win a puck battle in their own zone here, and you're going to see Barrie quickly jump up into the play, giving the Avs an opportunity to set up a 3-on-2 rush here. As they enter the offensive zone, Barrie's going to defer to Rantanen, drive to the net, drawing the defenders with him. That opens up the space for Rantanen to pass across to McKinnon. Now, once McKinnon gets this puck, he is very deep in the zone, and I think most people were expecting him to shoot it here. You can see the defender already going down to the ice trying to block a shot. Instead, McKinnon waits, takes his time, gets Forsberg to commit to him in goal, and then feeds a silky pass right through Saad's legs to Rantanen, and he puts it away. That's 2 straight games for the Avs with a pass between a defender's legs. Feeling pretty good. That top line really has a similar feeling to the days of old for the Avs with Sakic, Forsberg, Hayduk, and the like, where they can just do whatever they want with the puck and they make it happen and score a goal in the end. That goal extends all 3 of those players' point streaks now, so those keep rolling, and they weren't even done yet. Just a little bit past the halfway mark of the game, they would go back to the power play and pick up another one. Avs with a little bit of a different look on the power play here. They're running both Johnson and Barrie, 2 defensemen here. Makes sense to probably get some legs under Johnson, get him some easier ice time that he can get used to the game speed again. Barrie's going to head over to Johnson with the puck here, who eventually works it back up to McKinnon. McKinnon's going to try a shot that gets blocked. It ricochets out to Rantanen. Right here, Rantanen's just going to send this one up to Barrie for the one-timer. And I'm telling you, one-timers are the way to go in today's NHL. This one ends up going all the way to the net, off of Forsberg's glove, and in up high. A 2-point night for McKinnon, Rantanen, and Barrie, and that's Barrie's 12th goal of the season. He now sits just one shy of his career high in goals. Even more impressive, despite missing significant time this year, he also sits just 1 point shy of his career high in points. If not for that injury, he very likely could have made 60 points without much trouble. With a comfortable lead through the rest of the second period, the Avs looked like the better team here, and they took that 2-goal lead into the intermission. The third period was a bit of a mess, and basically could be boiled down to it being the Varley show. The Avs didn't fully turtle, but they were certainly picking their spots to play offense. Meanwhile, Chicago dominated the possession and had about 35 shot attempts total in just the third period alone. The Avs didn't help themselves at all by taking 2 penalties in the first half of the period, but Varley would come up big time and time again, making sure to lock things down, as he always seems to do at Chicago. It was seriously vintage 13-14 Varley here tonight. Whatever it is about Chicago, if he could bring that everywhere he goes, he'd be the best goalie in the league, straight up. The Avs had a few good opportunities in the third, they just couldn't quite manage to put the game on ice, and it was a good offensive game for the Avs. They had 40 shots on goal to Chicago's 45, so it's not like they got totally blown out of the water, but you still don't like to see your team give up that many shots. Eventually we get down to it, the Hawks pull their goalie, and EJ rings in his return with an empty netter. That brings us to 4-1, Chicago puts their goalie back in, and because I told Kerfoot that he should be benched, why not add another goal for him as well? Chicago playing full YOLO here. They got 4 players below the face-off dots. Warsofsky's just going to send this puck up to Bork into the neutral zone. That creates a 3-on-1 rush. Eventually, Bork gets it over to Kerfoot, and he finishes it, and Forsberg is not happy about it. And boom, a 2-point night for Kerfoot, and depth scoring helps the Avs beat a team that they should. I don't know if I'd call this an easy win, especially with Varley having to make 44 saves, but it was still a clear-cut victory. The top line continues to do its thing with what looks like no end to that in sight, and now we're starting to see a little bit here, a little bit there of that depth production that we so desperately need. This keeps the Avs well within playoff position, and now they have the LA Kings coming up, which will be the biggest game of the year so far. If you beat LA, you pretty much have yourself locked down a wild card spot at minimum. Yeah, I guess they technically could go full catastrophic and lose out to not make the playoffs, but it would be pretty tough not to at that point. That is the end of this short game video review. Thank you for watching. I'm Rudo3, and once again, sorry about this one being so late.